This AFC South preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stuck in the money green with my partner on picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. I would recommend you sit down right now. We're gonna get very, very aroused.
Oh,
talking about the AFC South and our mayonnaise king.
Know when to come.
well, Ryan, the kids call it glazing, so
What do you
prepare for a glazing of the Tennessee Titans.
I feel like we had a different meaning for that.
What do you mean?
Urban Dictionary has some, if you looked up glazed donut.
Yeah, well, it's not literal, Ryan. It's
I'm just saying there's a crossover there. Because some people might actually create some glazing as they're thinking about Will Levis.
yeah, that's what I was using it as.
No, I know.
Oh,
No, I'm saying like physically,
all right.
not just the metaphorical glazing.
Yeah, we're gonna get in a full lather about the Tennessee Titans. I'm sure if you listen to the team previews, super high on them. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We just did our week 3 playoff picks show. Got a couple. Ryan's system of the joint practice unders was very profitable, Ryan.
I mean, going head to head with some actual sharps out there. So
There were some in the sharp market who gave out all overs because of the new kickoff rule, which I agree with the sentiment that if I think the average starting field position was 25.9. I do think it's going to be 3 to 4 yards, like 28. Like I think we're almost going to get to starting the ball at the 30-yard line, which I would imagine over the course of the game is going to lead to some slightly higher overs. Do you think that's baked in already to week 1, Ryan?
maybe sure. I'm sure that specific date, like now that we've created EPA and it's open source and everyone can plug in their data, everyone's model now is like, scoring is going to be a little bit up if starting position, field position is moved forward, 0.08 points per drive. So yeah, I think it's definitely baked in.
Okay.
If there's one thing that the nerds have done is they can bake in a good number. Here, let me fix it.
All right, fix Spud, get his headphones ready to go. He's locked in. We're locked in. We're Ryan. This time tomorrow, we will be in beautiful Las Vegas, hanging out for Ultimate Contest weekend.
I was just counting money, so
yeah, there you go. Count some cash. Getting ready to get down.
Feels so
on
good.
some of these futures bets. Yeah, before we get into the teams, kind of recapping where we're at, and then we do close things out with our favorite underdog fantasy play. Of course, we got again, phrase that pays 32 NFL team. And Ryan, I was blown away when I saw the number of people who have already submitted their phrase. A great reason to go back, listen to all 32 team previews. One word is in each episode. You connect all 32 words. And of course you have the phrase that pays. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. Submit it there. $500 NFL future from Circa up for grabs. I was surprised how many entries we already have, and still plenty of time because we will be drawing them on the week 1 NFL picks podcast, which kicks off 8:30 p.m. September
2 weeks from right now.
Yes, 2 weeks from almost exactly to the minute.
I'm sure this is exactly when we'll be talking about it.
Yes.
Maybe this is when we're spinning the wheel.
We will be spinning a digital wheel with everyone's name on it. So if you are playing along, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase, get in there, get ready to go. We do have a I don't know who sent this to me. Apologies if I missed it on X. but there's a gentleman. I can't speak of his condition or aptitude, but he's a passionate man. He loves his Indianapolis Colts, and he has gone viral for singing Colts videos. He's written original songs for each of their preseason games. Here is his preseason song for the Colts versus Bengals.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose,
Our Colts.
we love them. For the shoe, beat the Bengals. Let's cook them and eat their strides. This is our team. Go Colts!
So
The nay at the end is amazing.
also, for you to be able to go viral for being brave enough to make music, but not really good at it, you have to be trying really hard and slightly off tune or like off key, like just a slight half beat off the music.
I love this guy.
I do. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
endearing. It's like it's almost perfectly accidental.
Well, I would say this guy, he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't know how to sing. He loves the Colts. He's a man of passion, and he is going to scream about his Colts, regardless of whether you like it or not. And yeah, shout out to this guy. He's good. And I love the aspect of writing a song and singing it, belting it out about a preseason game.
Yeah.
Not even a regular season game,
Pretty
right?
decent.
Some would say week 3 preseason meaningless, but not to this guy.
I'm excited to see where he goes for the regular season games. Because I mean, what's
I assume he's doing a song for him.
well, does he
Well, we
take
don't
week
know.
1 off? Because the Colts don't typically show up for week 1. So hopefully it's not a. Maybe this is
I know,
like
it's
a
gonna
Taylor
be
Swift
tough.
tale of heartbreak and sorrow.
All right, Ryan, let's start breaking down the AFC South. If you listen to the team preview, you know.
Real quick,
Yeah.
do we make the nay a sound drop for the Colts?
I
don't even know what that
it's
was.
almost like one of those things. If you didn't hear it in context, you would have no idea. and I only know it's nay because he does the captions
Yeah.
on his video.
I think it sounds like someone who slips like banana peel style, falls on their back. It's like it almost has the same sound as that viral video
the
where
grape lady?
the woman stomping, the news lady stomping the grapes and then falling off the stage. God damn, that's hilarious. Maybe we'll finish the show with that.
Oh, that was an all time.
Anyway, nay sound drop maybe coming soon.
Possibly loading. Tennessee Titans, Ryan. We both had the Tennessee Titans coming in at 10-7, cashing their over. Their win total is only 6.5. We both like them 10-7.
What are we missing?
I love this Tennessee Titan team, and I usually pick a couple teams where I'm higher than market on. Last year it was the Rams, who started out 3-6, maybe looked like an asshole, and then finished very strong, got into the playoffs, and had a chance to upset the Lions. That was a hell of a game. But the Titans feel like that team this year. We're obviously high on Will Levis, making a little bit of a leap. We like the new coach. We like the offensive line coach, the father-son duo there. We like the offensive side. I think not enough people talk about L'Jarius Sneed getting added to that defense. I think the AFC South is perpetually kind of up for grabs. If you think Houston hits a little bit of a wall, Tennessee winning the division, I don't think it's crazy, but I'm kind of torn here of my favorite bet for the Tennessee Titans, right? And I'm looking at our list. We have a ton here. Will Levis most passing yards. I think Circus still has it in the high 60s. When we gave it out originally on DraftKings, it was like a 70-1. It's down to 30-1. So what do we do? But the one that's been consistent that I think, obviously it is slightly lower price wise, but Brian Callahan, coach of the year. I mean, if we think they have a shot to make the playoffs, win the division, Brian Callahan, coach of the year at 23-1 makes just so much sense. It's tough. I mean, because there's a version where Levis has a pretty good season, maybe top 5 passing yards, but Callahan still gets it done. Or I guess the counter would be maybe their defense isn't as good as we had hoped, and they're playing from behind a bunch, and maybe they only end up being 9-8, 8-9. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs. They don't win the division, but Will Levis does lead the league in passing yards. What's your favorite play?
Do we meet in the middle? Maybe go for the division.
Oh,
passing yards.
Now is that still? We gave it out. It was 13-1. I wonder if they've adjusted that price.
So it came up again because we were discussing it in the context of, I guess it would have been I'm not sure. It wasn't CJ. It wouldn't have been CJ Stroud. It wouldn't have been Trevor Lawrence. Maybe where we talk. I'm not sure now. Let me pull it up. But anyway, I say all of that to say I was scrolling through, perusing late night in the markets the other night, and it had not changed. So let's see. What you think the steam that we're putting on it would cause a little? No,
but I'm just saying if they moved his to lead the league all the way down to 30-1,
So passing touchdowns still 9-1, yards still 13-1.
Okay. All right. So
CJ Stroud -175, Trevor Lawrence +170, Will Levis 13-1.
Circa is still holding the 66-1. So what do we? Let's just say lead the league. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? We're a go big or go home show, right?
Yeah, I do. Right. So I have paper tickets for Coach of the Year. I have paper ticket for most passing yards, and I think I might have to just maybe we also grab a tiny piece of the division. But yeah, put the big one down. Yeah, because we're going big on this one, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna fire a group play. I think when we get out to Circa, Ryan.
One better.
Can we get picked up by the aggregators? That will be the dream.
I mean, we know a couple of we can. We can certainly, as far as the betting news aggregators, we can definitely send a tip.
Yeah, I have an inside scoop on a irrational bet someone placed on Will Levis
hey Ben,
and the Titans.
Put this in your All right.
Maybe you're also high in the Titans, and of course you can go to underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code SGPN, deposit bonus up to $1,000. So if you were sitting on the sideline waiting for the NFL season, the college football season, we gave out some week 0 picks for Underdog Fantasy. We recap every episode with our favorite underdog play for the division, one player from each team, higher, lower. Deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. I don't know if I'm supposed to leak this information, but it sounds like this is the highest their bonus is going to go. Usually they pull it back after the first couple weeks. Again, I'm not saying anything official, but if you're waiting, this probably is your highest EV opportunity to hop in, and you get the sweet offers. The promo I have in my lobby, Will Levis higher 199.5 passing yards week 1. I mean, come on.
Yes, sir.
You know that's going into one of my slips. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Circa Sports, Circa Millions. Again, if you're coming out there for the contest, come by, say hi. Hopefully you're signing up for the contest because millions in guaranteed prizes. Kramer and I are entering both contests. It's going to be a lot of fun. And quarterly prizes too for the million. If you worry like, oh man, I had a horrible week 1, I'm totally ruined. No, the quarterly prizes are pretty big too. So even if you have a couple bad weeks and you realize, oh no, I'm not gonna win, win first place, that's fine. The quarterly prize is still pretty awesome. Circus Survivor, it's just an incredible sweat. They made a docu-series about it. Get in, enjoy the ride, enjoy the sweat. 16 million guaranteed. They rank 0. That's the kind of guy Derek is. I watched a video about why he did it. He's just like, yeah, I used to be in a fantasy league. They also had a Survivor contest. And I'm like, hey, when I get my casino, I'm going to make it bigger and better. And he truly has done that. Circusports.com. Kramer, Indianapolis Colts. I had them 10-7. You had them 8-9 going to the under. I'm going to knock them down.
Whoa.
1 win. I'm going to go to 9-8.
Okay.
Just a little, some of the Anthony Richardson stuff.
You think it's beginning of the year or end of the year?
I'll go beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Knock them off 1 win. I still like 9
and 8.
Yeah.
You got 4 wins to give back now.
I still like them to get over their win total at 8.5. I still like Shane Steichen as a head coach. Overall, I like Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, I mean the variance with Anthony Richardson is a bit of a wild ride. I still think he's going to be super interesting.
Isn't it funny
in
when
fantasy?
Isn't it funny when you start watching him play actual football? And it's like, God damn, like this
Well,
this guy might suck.
He's so tough, right? Because the setup makes sense of like, hey, he makes a leap from year 1 to year 2, but his year 1 was so short. Did he have enough time to develop and make that leap? And the fact that
it was short enough to like not show enough.
Yeah.
Like the running is the obvious stuff he's going to do. Obviously he's going to run well early. That's not something you have to learn how to do at the NFL level, but yeah, well, can he throw the ball? I think I would say I haven't read the most positive reports on his ability to throw the ball accurately.
Well, I would say this: Jalen Hurts in his rookie year, his rookie training camp, it was kind of a weird year. It was the pretty sure it was COVID year 2020. He was very hesitant to actually throw in practice, and he would run a lot in practice, and you see that sometimes from young, inexperienced quarterbacks who are athletic and maybe aren't seeing the field quite well enough yet and are still developing. And the fact that AR-15 is having some of that during joint practices against the Titans, where the Titans, where the Bengals defenders were saying you got to throw the ball eventually, and that was the same thing that was the same thing that Eagles defenders were yelling at Jalen Hurts back in 2020, even early 2021. But Jalen Hurts started that whole season 2021. They snuck into the playoffs at 9-8. Feels like there's a lot of comparisons between that team and this team, and I think AR-15 has a nice, like, he's certainly going to help you win some games with his legs, but I think it wouldn't be crazy if he costs you some as well. And re-looking at their schedule, it is tough those first 8 games. I do think they're going to have a nice stretch to close out, so they might be a fun team to bet mid-season to make playoffs or something like that. But I think dialing them back from 10-7 to 9-8 makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, again, it does seem like Flacco gives them a decent size net.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, if he gets hurt, normally you're kind of in trouble, but with Flacco, you're feeling pretty good.
Well, and that was, I mean, one of my favorite things that we discussed was the Colts over in points.
Yeah. Well, because there still is that version where they have a high ceiling, right? Like if he does kind of figure it out and he does get a bunch of rushing touchdowns and the play action is working really well with Jonathan Taylor, like the version where it works and they are in a dome and they're playing these AFC South games that might lead themselves to shootout, and Shane Steichen is a good play caller. Like there is a version where they have a decently high ceiling. I just think, ton of variance. So 9-8 is, the more I think about, fits right. But Kramer, what is your favorite play here? Because I could kind of be talked into a couple
total points over 3-9. They scored 396 last year, so that one seems tricky. But if we're gonna stay in the tradition of just throwing out bangers,
yeah.
All right, so I threw out Michael Pittman to. Well, wait, hear me out, because I'm not going exactly where you think I'm going. I gave out Michael Pittman Offensive Player of the Year, which of course I have a beautiful paper ticket for, but I am going to give out something new for this show.
Okay.
Something that I stumbled into a little bit later in the process, because of course the receptions market weren't up right away. Michael Pittman to lead the league in receptions. He was 10 off the pace of Tyreek Hill last year. Of course, CeeDee Lamb had the ridiculous 135, which was 16 north of Tyreek Hill in second place. We like him to have a massive target share. We think there could be an increase here.
Yes.
The Offensive Player of the Year makes sense.
Ryan.
25-1, Michael Pittman to have the most receptions. He was 5th in the league last year.
Love it. I'm writing that down on our.
We need to. Let's hit up Benson before we get out there. Make sure he opens that one. we're gonna need to hit that one hard.
Yeah, because I mean this makes a ton of sense, Ryan. And
also don't bet it without putting a little bit on the Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, just in case.
And you mentioned it, and we've talked about this, but the kind of guys that lead the league in catches and yards and stuff like that, fantasy stuff, you got to get to that 25-30% target share. Now, Donnie Mitchell's fun. Although Jelani Woods is dealing with something, like I don't like, they're going to throw the ball a bunch to Michael Pittman, right?
He had 156 targets.
Yeah.
In 15 games, 15 and change. again, he was right up there. He was 5 short of Evan Ingram, 10 short of Amon-Ra and Tyreek Hill, and again, CeeDee Lamb had the ridiculous 135, which seems not repeatable. So yeah, this is one of my being in on Pittman. Also, Pittman as a 4th round. I'm doing the high stakes FFPC drafts right now. Couple thousand a pop. Michael Pittman in the 4th round every time.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, especially full point PPR.
The fact that he's available there, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
Ryan, we have our. I'm just laughing because I'm in one league, one managed league with Ryan.
oh,
High stakes.
it's the worst.
Why is it the worst?
Oh, this league, we bellyache about it every year.
Oh,
We're not going to do it next year.
I thought we had fun last year. We almost won it.
Yeah, I know we should have won. We should have won it both years.
Yeah, we had a couple of bad breaks late in the playoffs, but they do. It cracks me up because they do that. What's that? That 100-yard dash, which actually is a fun way to decide your fantasy order, where it's like these. You each pick a character and they run across the screen, and it's like random, and you get
Did
a
it just happen?
No, but they run the characters across the screen, and then that creates the draft order for which draft slot you want to pick.
Oh, yeah.
Which I kind of appreciate, but also is like the insane nerd level over analysis. But I guess if now this is a great question for you, Ryan. We haven't talked strategy. If we get the number 1 spot, are we taking the number 1 pick?
No, absolutely not.
Because I don't want to be forced to take Christian McCaffrey. I've already said he's going to get injured. I don't want to have to back down from that.
I agree. If I had my way, I would say give me something like 3. Give me anything that's not 1 or 2.
I would say anywhere where I can guarantee we're going to get AJ Brown, because that to me is the key to winning fantasy football this year. What? Every time we've had Eagles, they've done well in our fantasy.
I mean, you remember the times they did.
When did they do bad?
Well, there was the time that there was a dynasty league created, and Carson Wentz was our first pick in a super flex.
Come on. That was for no money.
That didn't turn out well.
What are we talking about?
That didn't turn out well.
You're gonna bring up something that has no money, nothing involved. All right, before we hit up the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ryan, I'm gonna hop into the lab, aka fire.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, get your glasses on, Ryan. Firing up the Rhythm app.
By the way, it did take me a second to figure out how to use the model. Quite sophisticated.
It is pretty cool once you get the hang of it. Once you dial in your model.
You know what it is? It's not, someone who comes from a tech product background. It's almost too well laid out.
it's too simplistic.
Well, because it's
not simplistic, but too easy to use.
But like when you go to the games, it's like, oh, my model's right there.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. And all the models are there, obviously, but yeah, it very, very nice layout. I would say one of the nicest layouts I've ever seen. Very beautiful model.
Yes, Ryan, what do you got? What are you looking at here for your model for the NFL season? Give us a model play. Give us a system.
All right, you want an all gas?
Yes,
Ryan
is building a model all gas, which is just all about offense and scoring. No defense or running. I'm on the opposite end.
Yeah, it's all gas. Let's see here. I went too far into the future. Oh boy. We're gonna skip past that game. Skip past this game. All right.
What do you got?
Oh man. You know what? We might be in trouble because the model really likes the Jets.
Oh, what week 1?
Week 1.
Let's go.
Monday night.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe the model knows Brandon Ayuk's going to be out. So Ryan and the model, like the New York Jets on the money line, start building your own model. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get the free 7-day trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Ryan, I'm not really that high on this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Maybe I'll end up being wrong, but I'm just skeptical. Now we both have them going under. I have them 8-9. You have them 9-8, but both under the. Or sorry, no, you have them over. It was 8.5. So you do have them over their win total. I have them just under. CJ, who is the Jags representative, he had them over. He had them going 10-7.
CJ got to me.
He had the Trayvon Walker 100-1 defensive player of the year. I'll tell you the one that he did sell me on was Jacksonville having the most sacks at 50-1. I think this is a market where you can see some variance. I mean, just in general, we see variance within the sack market. I mean, obviously there are going to be the top guys, but Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker,
I like this.
They have Eric Armstead, who they just traded for. I like this a lot. So Jacksonville to have the most sacks, 50-1. I think that's my favorite play in the division. What do you like the most out of Jacksonville for the AFC South round?
I think it's the same thing. We discussed it, how with the new defense and the idea that they were simplifying the defensive line and these all very like first round pedigree defensive linemen are talking about how it's just they don't have to think as much and they can just attack. It does seem like in a case where the offense is playing pretty well, they're going to have some chances. So at 50-1, I'm going to join you. We'll ride together in this one. Because as much as I was the Browns and the Jags, the two teams in the AFC, I was surprised to be higher on than I usually am.
Yeah, I mean they kind of got
this team's kind of going to be good though.
They kind of have a tough schedule. They do have that weird 2 games in London,
but that's not a weird part of the schedule for them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
If anything, it's become kind of a sneaky advantage. They do the trip every year. It's getting to the point where it's like, this is unfair.
Yeah.
These other teams do it once, maybe in a decade.
It is kind of a nice advantage for them. Are they giving up?
And the second game's like an auto win because they have the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's going to be
anyone they play on that. Well, and that's the annoying thing because normally I think there is going to be now maybe it's not priced in, but Jags in that second week, I think I'm always going to be playing in England. Now they're playing the Patriots, who we expect to be bad. So you're not as much value as you would have imagined.
But yeah, I think.
But yeah, eight true road games, and then they have the 2 in London. But yeah, I don't know. Any other big picture thoughts on what you've seen so far from this Jaguars team? I think the Brian Thomas, a little more interesting than I originally thought. Maybe when we broke down. Probably going to have him in some best ball stacks with Trevor.
He seems like he's going to be the guy. Another way to look at their home road split, Sean, would be they one of their home games is in London, like a home game, and one of their road games is in London, like a home game. And so maybe the other way to look at it is they get a bonus home game, steal one from the Bears. Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is, as much as I'm a Trevor Lawrence hater, I think he's good enough to be. Like he's good enough to be in the mix of the playoffs in the regular season. In my mind, this team's going to have a good enough defense. They have good enough skill position players.
Yeah, and I guess if you're a Trevor Lawrence defender, I see Desmond in the chat checking in from Vegas saying Jags are going to dominate the division. Brah, I like throwing the brah at. Hopefully you come by Circus, say what's up, Desmond. But I think the case for the Jags is, man, Trevor Lawrence with that high ankle sprain. Look what he did. He put the team on his back. He played through pain. I mean, is it just the Goldilocks? Is it the long hair? I just don't buy in when I watch Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no, it maybe he makes it look too easy.
Whatever it is, I'm just not quite sold.
What's in the water at Clemson? These quarterbacks are all soft. No, but I do think that the likelihood that the Jags finish in last place this year feels very low.
Ryan, it was a very funny moment. I was meeting our buddy up in a parking lot of a grocery store where we happened to be running into him, and we were talking.
Seems normal.
Yeah, well, it is. So it was a football.
See about a horse.
Football conversation.
Okay.
And we were talking shop, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know about the Bears, but now I'm watching Hard Knocks, and I'm buying into Caleb Williams."
Shit.
And we're talking, and we were almost like blocking this lady who was like trying to get in her car, so we like moved off to the side. And then she's apparently listening into our conversation. She's like, "Oh, Caleb's gonna be good," and she was She was like not a woman. I would have thought this is a random LA grocery store. We're having a conversation in a parking lot.
It's very
and
unlikely.
A woman chimes in, probably in her 30s, 40s, about how much she loves Caleb Williams. I'm like, well, apparently she lived in Chicago briefly.
Wow.
She went to USC. She's a big Caleb
Jesus.
Williams fan. He's gonna ball out, and yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it for the NFC, but. Yeah, it's maybe he is going to live up to the hype ride. It's tough to come in with a hard fade. So like looking at his pricing, I think it's still a little high, but he's looked good, man. He's certainly, you understand why people, why the Bears were like, all right, fuck Justin Fields. We're drafting Caleb Williams. I don't care about building around Justin
Imagine
Fields.
rooting for a team that traded Caleb Williams and a lot more for Bryce Young. Oof.
I mean, if you're a
That's
Panthers
tough.
fan, you can just you try not to think about that.
That's tough. Just
Because if you ever want to sleep at night again, you're not.
chew on it and go to sleep. It's tough.
Houston Texans, Ryan. I had going 10-7. You had 9-8, going under their win total of 9.5. I had them just over at 10-7. And I think my handicap, my handle on this Texans team, I feel pretty good about it. It's that I think they're gonna be a better team. But the situation is going to be a lot harder. They're not going to sneak up on teams. People are going to have a little better game plan on how to handle CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud still is a dog. They still have a very good defense. And just kind of watching some of the preseason, not trying to get too locked into it, but you kind of remember some of the players, seeing them out there. It did make me feel pretty good about their win loss at 10-7, maybe even bumping them up. But I think they're gonna end up in a similar spot they were last year, but end up kind of being a better team. But it's gonna be a tougher road to get there. So I think they kind of balance out. You seem a little down, at least compared to me, on the Texans.
Well, I do think there's a chance that CJ Stroud isn't. I mean, there's a couple quarterbacks that are coming off a nice year where a lot of things went right.
Yeah.
And the idea that they take a small step in the other direction, whether it's because there's film or just general league adjustment, seems okay to expect. I think also just in general, this team it seems like they overachieved last year. And in a lot of cases that would have been the story, but CJ Stroud has kind of like tricked people with some witchcraft and it being like, no, I'm an MVP favorite. The team is going to continue moving forward. We got all this talent. Well, how could we possibly be bad?
I don't like the Stephon Diggs trade per se, but certainly I joke around about him being a cancer. I don't legitimately think it's going to make their team worse. I do think he is kind of a sour guy. Daniil Hunter getting added to that team, Stingley, a year more of experience, D'Amico Ryans coaching up that defense. Like the more I think about this Texans defense, the more I feel pretty good because I'm guessing we're going to be on the Texans week 1, not only fading the Colts in that spot, but I think the Texans defense against AR-15 and against some of these other teams in the division, the more I sat on it, the more I feel good about being on their over on the win total. I'm with you to some degree. Like I think he might throw some more interceptions, right? I think he might not have as easy of a schedule and struggle a little bit at times, but still get to 10-7. So I'm not completely out on him, but yeah, so 10-7 makes sense. I do think they are a playoff team and should be in the mix there for the division. Although certainly I like the Titans price a lot better. What's your what do you like play wise here, Ryan?
Well, why don't we just use that CJ Stroud most interceptions?
Okay.
I mean, I think there's an element of what this team is going to be, and let's just say that the defense is the same as last year.
Yeah.
And the offense is, I mean, this was both DVOA saw this as a more average team. And so if they're just an average team again, is that really a team you want to stake yourself on and over? Basically a make playoffs type of bet, especially with, everything worked out for them. They overcame a lot. They squeezed all the juice. So yeah, we'll take this CJ Stroud. No one's taken over for CJ Stroud. That's for sure.
Well, and
I went back and looked at our draft stuff or at least my notes from the draft when we were talking. And there was a lot of, I think there was a lot from the collective where we thought maybe all of these quarterbacks are going to be bums. And I was on CJ Stroud rookie of the year.
Yes,
but also like I don't think there is this strong like these guys are like generational prospects.
See, I guess that's kind of where you lose me a little bit. Like there's a composure, a leadership, and maybe I'm TMZing it a little too much.
Jordan Love had the same thing though, and you're not exactly in the same way with Jordan Love.
Oh no, I disagree. I don't see that.
I think both of them. That's what people point to when they talk about those.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you still have your goggles on.
What do you mean?
You're still in the
class.
No, but the +10 turnover differential for the Texans that jumped out at me. I think again, that comes down. They don't get many as breaks, but again,
They stay healthier.
Bringing in Danielle Hunter or Danielle Hunter certainly is huge.
Yeah, no. Again, I think people remember this team as a team that finished better than 16th in DVOA on defense and 14th on offense.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not.
And the price adjusted such.
I don't have them ceiling case. Like, I'm not taking CJ Stroud MVP. No. I'm not taking them to win the AFC. I will take CJ Stroud over 4,200.5 passing yards. I do think in this system, he's going to, that's a pretty reasonable projection for him. So I do like CJ Stroud to have a good year. Even if he does throw a few more interceptions, I do agree there could be some.
He's very
regression.
live to have the most interceptions.
Well, so he's not going anywhere, certainly. But they do. I think the Slowick system does a good job of setting up the pass with the run, and putting you in pretty good spots. But if he's trying to force in Stephon Diggs,
they're like Mixon's old. Like maybe the run game doesn't work.
Yeah,
and if he is chucking, there were some games last year where he was certainly attempting the ball they're attempting 50 throws. So it's available.
Jay Haas saying Bears roll the Titans week 1. AFC South is trash.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's Dominic the donkey. He's saying appreciate the value, but the Levis love has gone too damn high.
Jesus.
Remember that guy? The rent's too damn high.
Who is this guy? Get out of here.
This is a Will Levis podcast. Oh man, if he sucks week 1, pray for our mentions, Ryan. Hey, you know what else we're all in on? Game Time, baby. Use that promo code SGPN. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code SGPN. Go to gametime.co. Maybe you want to check out Bears Titans. You're getting the best price, and you can wait till the last minute, which is a pretty fun way to do it. Titans at Chargers. Titans play out here in SoFi, Ryan. Maybe we'll go see our savior Will Levis in person. I clicked the all-in pricing, and this is crazy. You can get all in SoFi Stadium for a regular season game, $47. Stadium is beautiful, and you can get it for $27 when you use the promo code SGPN. You like live sports? What are you doing? Also good for concerts, comedy. Game Time has tickets to every event you want to go to. Go to gametime.co or download the Game Time app. Use the promo code SGPN and you get $20 off. Gametime.co, promo code SGPN.
All right.
Kramer.
All right.
Now, what everyone is waiting for, putting together our underdog fantasy division plays. I think most of these have been clocking in around 9, 10 to 10x return here.
Yes, sir.
Pretty fun. So let's start.
It might be too steep for some of you, but for those who aren't scared.
So I clicked on the Titans. We have Will Levis, Tony Pollard, Chigoziem Okonkwo, Calvin Ridley. Now Chig is spicy, higher 2.5 receiving touchdowns.
Don't we just take the Will Levis passing?
Yeah, we got to go Will Levis passing yards. 34, 65.5. We're staking our handicap and reputation on Will Levis being able to rack up some passing yards.
Look at that.
We can't back out now, Ryan.
Look at that interceptions projection.
12.
Yeah.
I'll take the lower, but we'll just go with the Will Levis higher passing yards. Colts. Up next, Colts have a ton of options. They got Jonathan Taylor, touchdowns, yards, and AR-15. Passing touchdowns, interceptions, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. Latu, rookie D lineman, 7.25 sacks. DeForest Buckner, Another reason to be kind of high on the Colts. Michael Pittman, Ryan.
Yeah, that Pittman number. What's up with that?
1,050.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, he got that. Like that's
Yeah, he's pretty quarterback proof. And I think if Joe Flacco's in here, we like it. If AR-15's in here, we like it. So yeah, Michael Pittman. Some people have clowned me saying he's not explosive enough or whatever, but the dude gets open. I think that's a great.
What do you mean he's not explosive enough? He was in the top 10 of targets last year with Gardner. I mean, I don't get the angle.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He's young. He was an alpha coming out of college and at USC. Which, by the way, once again, how is that USC team not better? So many studs.
They really just can't figure out defense. To your point, Ryan, look at this. Look at just his target share as he's gone on. 2020, and it feels like he's been in the league longer, but 2020. 61 targets, 2021, 129, 2022, 141, 2023, 156. Okay. 109 catches.
What are we talking? Like, what was his yardage total last year?
He got 1152.
So
he's
going to take a step back
and only 16. He played in 16 games, only started 15. So I don't know. Maybe he was out for one there or something, but,
I don't understand this number. Donnie Mitchell's isn't that gonna help him?
Yeah, he's fine. He's gonna have a massive workload.
All right, next.
Jaguars. So we got ETN, Trevor Lawrence.
We got a good
Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr.
No,
his numbers are kind of high.
I would say my initial thought would be an Ingram thing.
I don't mind the Evan Ingram
or a Trevor thing, but Evan Ingram is one of these guys. Speaking of which, he finished 4th in catches last year.
Yeah,
and 963 yards. So
I kind of like the Lawrence INTs. It's set at 12.
Yeah.
And this guy plays every game.
He likes to sling a interception.
Well, maybe he missed one last year, but he had 17 his rookie year,
14 last year,
8 the year before. I think he's going to be throwing it a bunch.
Yep, that's a great one. Let's add that to the card.
Goldilocks to throw higher, 12 interceptions, and last but not least, the Houston Texans. We got CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, who you were, I think, high on in that.
Yeah, always going to be high on the tight end to score touchdowns in this system. Always.
Okay.
It's kind of it's just the way that it works. They love the route combos.
I don't want to mess with any of the receivers because I think I don't know. There's just not a lot of clarity in how it's going to shake out split wise. I don't think it's worth it.
Interceptions for Stroud. It's a little spicy.
I feel like you're getting a hair cute. Okay. I mean, 9.5. He could throw 9 interceptions and still.
I mean, how many did he throw last year? He had like a ridiculously low interception rate.
Yeah, and he threw 5. So even if he almost doubles that, I don't know. His
interception rate was 1%. That's very low. Like no one had a lower rate in the league.
Yeah, I just think jumping
like that's going to regress big time.
I agree, but I think he could regress 4 picks and still we're cooked here.
Jordan Love 1.9%. So that would double his picks. So that I think
was it exactly 1%?
I'm at 0.9%, but roughly responsible for about 5 interceptions.
All right, I mean double. I like.
What do you like?
I don't mind.
Come with solutions. I
don't mind your Dalton Schultz angle.
Oh,
I also
touchdowns?
think the higher passing yards is a layup, but if you want to be
for who?
For CJ Stroud.
Oh, I don't know if that's a layup.
Okay, well, I said I will also entertain your Dalton Schultz receiving touchdowns. I think
that's fine. I like that one.
Okay. So we got Dalton Schultz higher, 3.5 receiving touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence higher, 12 receptions. Michael Pittman higher, 1,050.5 receiving yards, and our boy Willie L, 3,465.5 passing yards higher, and a nice 10x. Let's fire away.
I'm really starting to stack up.
Yeah, this is so great.
It could be a problem.
They did refund me my JJ.
What happened?
My JJ McCarthy one. They graded that already void. I was looking forward to, kind of banking that cash and getting the refund at the end of the season, just in case everything goes wrong, Ryan. But they gave it out to me, so I'll have to find something else to pair with Daniel Jones' lower passing touchdowns.
I just fired off the entry, and I went to go look at my my open pick'ems, and there's a timer here. I have like 2 minutes to cancel it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not know that. So if you accidentally fire off one,
okay,
you anyway, big stack brewing.
Big stack of brewing. All right.
What's that? Oh, well, we won't be doing the final AFC division until Sunday, probably. So
yeah, because we're gonna be out in Vegas. We're doing some. We're gonna do our Survivor. What we got, like, map out our Survivor entry. Ryan, what are we doing week 1? I'm already nervous about week 1.
Well, for those who are wondering, this is what I look at during the entire show, studying away. It does seem like we should entertain the Bengals.
Really?
If I'm being honest.
Wow. Even though we talk so much shit on the Patriots.
I'm not saying it needs to be in the conversation, because there are not a lot of situations the rest of the season where you like the Bengals. Very, but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
well, it depends who starts too. Which I like Drake May for the Patriots. I like the Pats a little bit more just because of the wild card aspect.
I mean, we talked about the Texans, but the Colts just lose every.
Are you still? I know we had talked about doing
Raiders,
Bucks.
Great one.
Bucks at home, Florida home game. Although Jaden Daniels looked pretty good. That's are you scared now?
No,
you're not scared.
I have a feeling the teams that looked good in the preseason, or like the quarterbacks where we're like, yeah, look at this. Basically, all the rookies that look good. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit welcome to the NFL first couple weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think to fade the crowd, I think the Bucks is probably the strongest. You're going against the rookie quarterback. You're going against the team that
Florida in September.
Read between the lines. It does seem like maybe Washington won't be great out of the gate.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Commanders are really bad, and Dan Quinn's bad,
and the Bucks are the opposite of that, which is a team that's mostly running it back.
Yeah, and you get Todd Bowles against a rookie quarterback on the road, making his first start. That's a nice positive.
Any other games in consideration here?
Oh man,
the Browns against the Cowboys. If Jameis starts only.
Oh, that would be a great. We did get cute and play. Who did we play? We played the Panthers a week 1 against the Browns, and Cade York, that fucking piece of shit, hit a 54-yard field goal and knocked us out of the Survivor.
Giants against the Vikings. If you want some onions,
I heard someone talking about Dolphins week 1 against the Jags. That's kind of
Florida on Florida.
Yeah. Do we call our shot and go Steelers week 1?
We might have to put one of our entries on the Steelers.
Oh man. All right. Well, and obviously with the Circus Survivor, we got to do some planning because of Thanksgiving and Christmas. You want to save some of those teams. So excited to break it all down. And of course, 32 teams, the phrase that pays, gotten a bunch of entries, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. Get in your entry, and football 10% off everything in the merch store. Look at this hat. Camo SGP hat is a classic. We get the team ones. We got some new merch on its way. The SGPN Dream Team shirts are pretty sick. So get down over on the merch store. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Phrase does pay.
Kramer, let it ride.